Hi guys, welcome to another reading update. I thought I'd do something a little different and take you outside in a little snowy outdoor reading update. Yeah, we just got hammered by a lot of snow yesterday. I'll give you a quick look. You kind of see that table over there piled with snow. It was just sort of non-stop. But yeah, thought I'd, like I said, take you outside, a little different view here than my TV fake fireplace. Anyway, so I have just recently finished a couple books. The first one was an audiobook, which was Every Heart a Doorway by Shannon McGuire. I first come across this on BookTube. A lot of people just raving about it. And I heard it had transgender and asexual representation within the book. Within the characters, it wasn't a major plot point within this particular book. It just happened to be how two characters identified, and I liked the way the author worked that into the story. Didn't overplay it in anything, and just made it a casual reference to those characters, and I much appreciated that. The overall story, I didn't really know a whole lot going into it, but I had no idea it had sort of a magical realism element to it. What we have is, it's described as children kind of falling through the cracks, and I thought it was a metaphor maybe like overlooked by society, maybe missed out on education, or abuse kind of involved, or something along that lines, but it had nothing to do with that. It was literally children falling through the cracks into other worlds. Picture, Narnia, passing through the back of a wardrobe, falling down a well, a trap door or something, a door within a tree. They escape into other worlds, and we follow our main character. I believe her name was Nancy. She is entering the school for wayward children, and these are all children who've all kind of have these stories where they have visited other worlds and experienced totally different lives, spent almost a full lifetime there, and then somehow were thrown back into the world in which they were born. And where they describe these situations to their parents think they're crazy and have now sent them to this school because they don't know how to handle the situation. But maybe for the parents, these children were only missing for a very short period of time. So we come to learn that these children have actually experienced other worlds, and for some reason something within them have drawn them to there, and now either want to return to their original homeland to say goodbye to their parents before they made a permanent stay in the world, or for some other reason maybe they were ejected from these magical worlds. They are desperate to find their way back. So I did not expect that whole aspect of this particular book. I found the worlds that were described were, in some cases, kind of weird and creepy, and I couldn't understand or connect with why the children wanted to go back there. The way the children were presented within the book, they seemed quite old. Some of the things they do within the storyline, I couldn't picture them as children in some cases. But then, thinking back on it now, I realized, well, if they spent lifetimes, like if you watch the Narnia movies, they experienced almost an entire life, and then when they managed to pass back somehow into the world where they were born, they had aged like next to nothing. No time had passed. So they've experienced all that time. They've learned all these things. So in a way, they are adults, but kind of trapped in these children's bodies. So looking back on it, I kind of could see it differently now. But then there's this whole other aspect to the story where something happens to one of the children, and it turns into like the part murder mystery now too. It's a very short novel. It's only like some 170 pages. It moved rather quickly. Like I said, I did have a little difficulty kind of connecting with the children because the worlds they described were just so bizarre. But overall, I enjoyed it pretty much. I gave it like 3 stars on Goodreads. I just recently finished a book that I heard about through BookTube on Charlie's channel over at Duvet Day Devours. And this is a book that was just released in January, so kind of getting caught up on at least some new titles for once. I've been kind of reading a lot of older titles. And this is The Chalk Man by C.J. Tudor. Kind of a fairly thin book as well. It's out on hardcover in the U.S. The UK cover is super cool. It's black and it looks like chalk drawing, black all over. Yeah, UK covers. We get the horrible U.S. covers. I don't know what that's supposed to be. But it is essentially also a murder mystery. It's told in 2 time frames. We have 2016 and also 1986. There's 1986. Okay. And it's told from the first-person point of view of a young man named Eddie Addams. In 1986, he's 12 years old. We meet his 4 other friends. They all kind of have nicknames for each other. There's Fat Gav, Hoppo, Metal Mickey because he has braces, and their only girl in the group is Nikki. Eddie's nicknamed Eddie Munster, even though his last name is really Addams. It's an Addams family, but the Addams family only have a kid named Pugsley, so Munster's Eddie Munster. It's weird. Anyway, so what happens is these 5 children in 1986 stumble across a body of a girl, a dismembered body. They find the parts hidden in the woods where they play, and above those parts are these little chalk figures, little stickmen, kind of like that. And there's a whole connection to the chalk figures, something that the kids were doing as messages to themselves, but did someone steal that idea? Is there a murder amongst them? And then you kind of jump back to 2016, or jump forward rather to 2016, and things are revealed as he's sort of looking back on the situation of what happened and events around that time frame. And also they're slowly revealed through the progression of time from 1986. And it's just a really tight woven mystery of secrets and consequences and things, and I was mesmerized by it right up to the very end. Shocking moments throughout the whole thing, and what I love the most about it is the use of this sort of unreliable narrator. Eddie, from the beginning, and I don't want to go into details of what he does, but you begin to mistrust him. He does some crazy things, and then you're just like shocked by it. And in fact, a lot of the characters, a lot of things that are revealed from things they did as children become shocking, and you begin to wonder, could one of them be a murderer? It was excellent story. I'm definitely going to pick this as one of my staff recommends at work, and I highly recommend you read it if you really want a really engrossing mystery. Yeah, definitely pick that one up. So those are the only 2 that I've currently finished. I'll show you the audiobook I'm currently listening to, and I'm a little mixed about this one. This is Ghost, written by David Mitchell, and I apologize if I'm talking a little faster than usual, but it's a little chilly. Ghost Written is David Mitchell's first novel. I've already read The Bone Clocks and Slade House by him. Those were 2 novels that are slightly interconnected, and he tends to do that a lot with his books, I've understood. And I really enjoyed both those. Slade House was just a good book even on its own, like a really creepy haunted house type story. But when I saw the connections between that and Bone Clocks, I was just amazed. Now, Ghost Written is a collection of like 9 stories within this book about various different characters. From a woman living on a holy mountain who hears voices from a tree, to a terrorist who's part of a doomsday cult, attacking people with gas on subways, and a jazz musician, and somehow they're all sort of connected. I have yet to see that other than at one particular point in the story, and I'm about halfway through the book, so I've read through Goodreads too that you'll see these connections more and more as the story progresses, and I'm hoping it will, because that's sort of how like the other 2 books that I read by him were like that as well. There were a series of short little stories within it that, not individual standalone stories, but you'll see, like I said, how all these little plot points are woven through. So I'm looking forward to finishing that one up. I'm also reading a manga, kind of diving in and out of it. This is Blood Lad. It is by Yuki Kadama. These are omnibuses, so Volume 7 actually contains Volumes 13 and 14 of the regular manga. And I'm just about finishing Volume 13. It's got vampires and demons and a human girl who died in the demon world, and this one vampire is trying to help bring her back to life. It's really intriguing. But he may have to go up against this sort of sort of this Frankenstein monster type being, and it's got a lot of really interesting characters in it. And then the one novel I'm still reading, it's a big chunker here. This is The Company of the Dead by David Kowalski. Kind of a time travel, historical alternative fiction type book involving obviously the Titanic, and there's Roswell and airships and the Kennedys. It's a totally different twist also on the United States because it's divided. There is no longer a United States. There's the Union and the Second Confederacy, and Japan's invaded on one side and Germany on the other, and there's a lot of political stuff kind of going on that tends to lose me a little bit, I'll have to be honest. But I'm trying to stay with it. The time travel part of it is the thing I'm enjoying the most. But yeah, that's my slightly frozen reading update from the south suburbs here. yeah, I'm going to go in and get some coffee now. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.